Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes, as we are watching a cold front that is slowly moving on through, and we do mean slowly. We see it here with the clouds that are running from the northeast down into the Gulf states. And ahead of it, we're seeing some showers and even one or two thunderstorms. But as the loop shows, with the lightning flashes, we're not really seeing very much here, so I don't think this is a severe weather risk. And in the meantime, we've got a lot of dry air that's coming in or getting ready to come in behind all of this. That is thanks to that northwest flow out of Canada. So once this is done, you can expect humidity levels to drop off and weather conditions that will generally improve. Here's the radar. I'll give it a quick refresh here. As we look at it right around 1 p.m. Eastern Time, you're seeing some downpours. There might even be a few rumbles of thunder in the mix. But again, nothing severe. And the back edge making some slow eastward progress here from the middle Hudson Valley. It's all done in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's mostly done in southeast and south central Pennsylvania, just kind of watching this last area here in Virginia and some of the heavier cells that you're seeing in Maryland. They're moving to the northeast, but they're moving northeast. The line is sliding eastward, so it's just a matter of time before weather conditions improve. And as we said, SPC has nothing with regards to severe weather, just general thunderstorms. And once the front passes, that threat is going to be gone. We don't have any widespread severe weather forecasts anywhere in the United States over the next several days. We're at the time of year now where that's all winding down. In the meantime, rainfall amounts over the next 7 days, so this takes us right into next Monday, 7 a.m. So generally anywhere between a half an inch and an inch. Now, this includes today, so you could, at the very least, you could say maybe that we could cut this in half or at least cut it back by a third for the next cold front that we'll be dealing with over the weekend. So let me run through what's going on. We're going to come back to the tropics in a moment. I just want to start with the upper air, because we've been kind of stuck in this pattern here with a rather busy flow coming out of Canada. So if you look at this, when we look at the upper air and you follow, I always totally say to follow the flow. Here's an upper low sitting off the coast of Washington State. It's kind of off the grid here, but there's an upper low approaching James Bay. So if you just draw your arrows in terms of clockwise around highs and counterclockwise around lows, this is what we're seeing in terms of the flow in the upper atmosphere. So our air continues to come down from Canada. We're getting these shortwave troughs that are embedded in that flow. So every time one of those short waves goes by, we get some kind of frontal passage. And that's, as we've been saying, we're seeing that there's no prolonged heat or humidity. You get into a situation where maybe for a day or two, you get very warm to borderline hot and humid like we saw over the weekend. And then a cold front comes along and cuts it off. Now, what we're thinking here is another upper trough that's going to go by to our north on Wednesday with a weak front. I don't think it's going to produce very much other than a few clouds. So as far as I'm concerned, the rest of the week is going to be fine. Then we're going to see a little bit of ridging coming into the east for Thursday and Friday. So those are the 2 days that we're going to warm up and turn more humid in time. Then, and here's the key for the 4th of July weekend, we have another one of these upper troughs coming down from the north. That's going to try to push a cold front through here. So the question is for beyond Saturday, because I think Saturday's the day that we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms at some point when the front approaches, probably late in the day. So the first part of Saturday should be fine. Then, if the flow backs to the northwest and it backs northwest enough, that should push the front far enough south so that maybe we have some leftover clouds early on Sunday, and then gradually seeing improving weather conditions with increasing sunshine during Sunday and a very nice Monday, 4th of July. But I just want to caution here that we are going to have to watch to see if this flow, if that trough doesn't push far enough south, that could cause the front to stall out, in which case that would cause some problems with leftover precip for Sunday and possibly even into Monday. I have wrote this morning on my post that I'm leaning optimistic. The models still seem to be in this state of mind where they're going back and forth on the idea of does the front pass or does it not. So on today's run, for example, this is Saturday afternoon and evening with some showers and thunderstorms rolling through, and then the front just kind of gets hung up there just offshore, and it leaves us close by where we're dealing with some clouds. The GFS wants to push most of the rain to the south. If that northwest flow cooperates, I think that's a pretty good bet. And at least today, it gives some support to my idea that weather conditions should generally be okay. Although on the southern end of that, if the front's down, say in Delaware or Virginia, if you're close to that area, you might have to deal with perhaps some showers on Sunday and then again on Monday. But I think the further north you go, the better off you're going to be. And we could still wind up where the front pushes far enough south where this is not really a big issue for just about everybody in eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England. As far as temperatures are concerned, as we go through the week, we're looking at tomorrow where temperatures are probably not going to get much above the upper 70s to around or just over 80 degrees. You can see I'm just letting the map update here. So it's mostly upper 70s to around or just over 80. Wednesday, we're going to tack on a couple of degrees and move the temperatures up to, say, low and middle 80s. Thursday, we'll take them up a little higher, so we'll go mid to upper 80s. And then on Friday and on Saturday, we're probably going to be looking at highs up into at least the lower 90s, some middle 90s showing up in southern Pennsylvania, down into Maryland on Friday and Saturday, a little bit lower because of that approaching front. So bottom line is, as I said, if it does warm up and get hot, it gets hot for a day or at most two. The humidity levels make it uncomfortable for at least a day or at most two. And then we get the next front. And by the way, Sunday, if everything goes according to plan, Sunday's highs will be back into the 80s with lowering humidity, mostly lower 80s. And I think Monday, the 4th of July, could be upper 70s to lower 80s for afternoon highs with comfortable humidities. Quick check of the tropics. While we'll have this up here, we've got a tropical system out in the deep tropical Atlantic, actually the intertropical convergence zone, which is the area out here where you're seeing all these tropical waves. Here's one, and then you've got this one here. This is the one that the Hurricane Center is watching. There's actually a fourth one that's flaring up. The lead one is in the Eastern Caribbean, but conditions are not favorable for that to develop. The system is still, as we've been talking about it, pretty far to the south. If we take a look at what some of the models are doing, we're talking about a track that's basically straddling just north of the South American coastline and going straight into Central America sometime later next week. So we're not really too concerned about this. I'm sorry, I've got my time frames wrong here. So this is late this week, and then as we go into the weekend, so making landfall sometime over the weekend over Central America. There's a second wave behind it. We'll see if that winds up developing. The Hurricane Center is watching that as well. And as we look at some of the track model guidance with all of this, you can see it's all pretty tightly clustered. Almost all the models want to take this on a mostly west or maybe west-northwest course or slightly north of due west across the southern Caribbean and into Central America. So we don't see this as any kind of threat to the United States, at least from what we're looking at right now. The Joe and Joe Show tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. So we hope to see you then on my YouTube channel, Joe Cioffi.